Let us pray. Father in heaven, we're so thankful for all the many blessings that you allow us to have each and every day, Lord. We're just thankful for this season that we're coming up on this month for the birth of your Son, Lord, and we just ask that you give us the knowledge and the wisdom to make the proper decisions, to just represent our constituents as you would see fit tonight, and let everything we do and say lead to the betterment of your kingdom. Your Jesus' Son's holy name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Steve, I will let you.
We'll go ahead and talk about the collection disposal rate increase. Everyone should have those numbers on the transfer station and the collection there. Also, what you have there is the increases from 2018 all the way to currently. Give you some idea how things have gone up. Only year that they didn't go up was the COVID year. I don't, in my opinion, just adding what the CPI goes to, which is 234, and the increase, I don't know if that's going to get it, and that's because we're still going to have to find $250,000 that we won't be able to take out of fund balance this time. So there's two budgets in there, mod budgets. It's kind of hard to do that only after 5 months. You guys take a look at that. Also, what we used last year, we used the revenue sharing, $250,000. That dropped it. I think the total budget for the solid waste was 1.8. That dropped it down to 1.6. I'm sorry, that's what it is. That's what it is now. That's what it would be. The question marks is where are you going to come up with the $250,000? That's the biggest question. As of today, we have 248,000.
I know we increase a few every time, Steve, but that house count, is our contract, I know our CPI goes up, is our contract locked into that house count?
Not that I'm aware of. I mean, they're supposed to be doing the house count, if they will increase it. I mean, contract says 70, 37 is what it says. You know, right now we're over 7,100. Right now. You know, that may change tomorrow. But right now we're 7,100.
Right.
Above the contract.
I'm sorry, Steve, you say they do the house count?
They're going to keep charging us 37 from my understanding until we give them another number, you know, so. They charge us for 6,800 for 4 or 5 years, and we were over 7,000, so.
7,100. Yeah, we're billing about 50, 60 households more than we're billing us for.
Yeah,
How accurate is that number?
accurate is their number or our number.
The 7,100?
It's accurate as of today. Yeah, over 7,100 today. So probably about 7,111 right now. That could change this week. It could go down, it could go up. That's what it is as of today. And that's probably gonna go up at least 4 or 5 more because that Lucy Lane over there off Albert Owens Road, a lot of people have bought those one acre tracts. You know, got 5 or 16 customers fixing to come in from there, so.
Recap this sheet here to me.
Sure.
This is the 250 we took off of.
That's the revenue sharing, yes.
Yeah, the revenue.
So that drops it to 16666, 10392.
But
Which
we
if you
think
didn't
we
take
got.
anything else, if you didn't take $250,000 out of anything else, and you're factoring it on 70%, which is 4970, that's 335. Divide that with 12 months. New rate, if you chose to do that, would be almost $28, $27.
It would wind up rounded up to $84 a quarter.
Yep.
We're 69 now, correct?
But if you take 69 right now, and you come up with $254,000, you know, it drops to like 2375, which is 75 more cents than what you're charging now. Even though the CPI went up to 34. Same thing we used for 24 this year. It's just, don't have 20 places to get 250,000 out of this time. And the comptroller's office said you want to do it again, fund balance, well, you can't afford to.
Right. So are you saying we need to, what you're saying
I'm just giving you the information.
is this is where we
Yeah.
$335
A year.
No. Let's back up and look at, collections from delinquent accounts. Is that included in that number,
Yeah, and all the collections.
in all the collections?
Yes, sir.
So that's whittled down to the bare bone.
Only thing that doesn't include is sale of recycling, things like that, not in there.
For those of you that don't have this, the number is working out to $84 a quarter, $69 a quarter that's current.
So what's that 70%, Steve?
That's how many you're paying.
Yeah.
So we're saying we want the 70%, they're pay the whole bill?
We've been saying for 6 years.
I ain't been saying it.
That's what's been said, no, I haven't said it, but that's what's been
That's been the collection percentage, right at 70%.
Yeah, I understand that.
said. In our minutes,
That's why we've been supplementing for that
Right.
DVA because the 70%.
Yeah.
Now, so they weren't paying for the ones that weren't.
our previous votes, we voted to raise the CPI.
Not during the full commission.
We did in this committee.
When that recommendation was made to the full commission, it didn't include the CPI.
Wow.
Jay wasn't here that he was out of town that next day, so it wasn't included. It wasn't included as the rate would go up as the CPI went up. That was not part of the verbiage. I checked with Craig on that too. It's like, even though that solid waste committee made that recommendation, it doesn't matter. Wouldn't make to the full commission, so you can still do that. You just have to make that recommendation again.
How close are you getting, Steve, to collecting? Let's just,
The collectible.
that's collectible past the 70 in years past. Are you 10%? Are you 5%?
It varies. It varies. You know, a lot of those old lawsuits, you know, too. Stuff that's been around 15, 20 years, you're not collecting. And they're not going to pay until they want to sell that property or for or against it.
I'd have to go back and look at the minutes. We concluded on the $69. If anybody remembers something differently, please speak up. We concluded or we settled on a $69 quarter rate due to the fact we were using the $250,000 off of collections being done back in. And we were dividing by the 70%. And it was a fudge factor to cover basically unforeseen or unbudgeted cost due to pickup, due to transfer, due to increased tonnage. That's what I'm remembering. Who remembers something different? All right. We cannot consider the $250,000 back in there.
No, fund balance.
Not from fund balance.
Get it
Because that
somewhere
$250,000 come from old collections dumped into fund balance. Without that, Steve, you're back to the old age-old argument. Do you bill everybody what it's supposed to be? And do your best to collect? Or do we bill 70% and hope we collect on the ones that don't? I mean, in my simplistic way of looking at it.
Are you saying look at it at 70% or 100%? Is that what?
Yeah, that's what I'm.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I know from your standpoint, you need to look at it from 70,
Yeah.
because those are the people
When
coming
you
in.
look at
to pay.
100%, I think that was the question last year, we're looking at 100%. Well, that rate was only gonna be $16 a month. And they were charging $14.98, so you were just digging a deeper hole. So that's why, if you go by 70%, the ones who are paying. I think, not going up for 7 years, that was, it comes back to bite you in the end, it's
Steve, out of the 70%, that 30% that's left over, do you have a figure on what is collectible that's not in lawsuits?
I don't, not off the top of my head. The thing, we can send out letters every month, I have to do that. And the reason I've held off this time is like, I want to get we need to get as much as we can. If somebody owes $200-something, we want to give them every opportunity, because we're going to lose 20% of that. We can get a credit score letter, which they're going to pay. I mean, they're going to pay you when they get that letter, but that adds up, that 20% adds up.
The reason I ask is, I came on, when I was dealing with solid waste in 2016, 17, and I've been on since 18. It's the same problem.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same problem. And I don't care how you move the money and do whatever, but if you don't have an abundance, what's in fund balance now?
248.
Okay, so about exhausted that one. And I remember when it was 1.2 or 3.
Over a million, yeah.
Yeah.
Which it was over a million earlier this year or so, but.
Right. But until the collection side is addressed, this business model is going to continue to be what it's doing.
It's been a way ever since the beginning.
Absolutely. I don't know what needs to be done. I'm gonna go rogue here and tell you that the ones that ain't paying will not be picked up. I tried for 3 months, see what happens. What are they gonna do? What's gonna happen? Right now, I'm at the point where, and them tipping fees are up there, bud.
Yeah.
Them babies they're there. When you're averaging $26,000 to $30,000 a year, a month.
They're not going to get any cheaper in.
No, but what I'm getting at, the core problem though, is that we don't have a tool that we hadn't pulled out of the woodshed yet. And if we don't, I don't care what you do, I think there's a push come to shove to where Brad Hunt don't want to pay his garbage bill because 70% is going to pick up the slack.
Yeah.
I think
We have tried that. We have tried, we know somebody's in there and they're not paying. We have tried that, not picking them up.
So what happens?
Sometimes they pay, sometimes they don't. They're after a couple, very seldom, a couple of people I know in the south end of the county, let it get picked up, and I said, there's a reason you get picked up. You haven't been paying, so they come and pay. Some people who aren't paying, or maybe a quarter behind, will say, hey, I'm gonna pay my garbage because you're gonna quit picking me up. Like, I'm not gonna tell them any different, you know? I don't think that's being dishonest. We're so far behind in the hole that we gotta try something.
I don't know what the majority of that don't pay, I don't know what the scenario is. I wish I knew the figure. I mean, I know you hadn't got 30%, that's everybody, but you got lawsuits.
I wish I knew what it was because because people would come in and sign up. They will come in and sign up and you will never hear from them again as far as paying until you get a letter from an attorney. And I just don't think it's that hard, you know. If you want your trash picked up, you come in, that means you do. You're serious about it, you come in and sign up. But you go a year without paying,
I just can't, in my mind, and maybe I handle things a little differently, but I just can't think that we would continue to provide service and put the burden on 70%.
Right.
And let this coasting railroad, I mean, this train on, you know, free fall here, just keep on keeping on. Gotta be, I mean, where's it gonna stop? I'm gonna be paying $100 a month?
Yeah.
$200 a month?
I think we talked about it the last meeting, you know, it's gonna get to the point where, well, I think we're at that point, we can't afford garbage, the way things are going now.
Kim, yeah, what kind of kickback will they get? I mean, you're not gonna get all of them every week, but could you give them a list of addresses, tell them don't pick it up?
Yeah,
And they-
I've done that, yeah.
And they will,
You know, I'll say, hey, don't pick this up before they know.
I was not aware that we'd done that.
Well, I think, yeah, I tried it, but I think the state says you gotta pick it up, you know, I think that was the whole deal, but I said for a couple of weeks, most of the time, if it's not gonna get their attention in a couple of weeks, it's not gonna get their attention, you know? Because they say, you gotta pick it up, because if you don't pick it up, there's gonna be garbage everywhere, that's what they say.
There's no saying in our business that there's good, bad, and none.
Yeah,
I'd rather have none is bad. Because that picking up the trash and not getting paid is bad business. Cut that tipping fee, I don't know how much you can cut it.
yeah.
But, you know, if you got a non-paying customer out there that's got 5, 6, 7 bags every week, whatever, maybe it's how they do it, I don't know.
right. What would it cost us to send them a letter, saying we're going to pick up your trash, you can take it to the transfer station, that's state, I mean, they have the option.
That's their option.
That's their option, and then they're paying the tipping fee.
That's exactly right.
It won't take the once of that and go in that,
That's right.
they still have a $20 minimum.
$20 minimum last time.
If they go in with 2 bags of garbage, $20, it's like,
Yeah.
I might be better off pay this, have it picked up in my driveway, you know, I don't.
I would just urge the committee to exercise something.
Right.
You cannot continue to keep on keeping on. Someone needs to drop the hammer here, see how it works a little while, see what the effect is on the tipping.
I'm all for it. I really am.
I can't talk about you.
You can't build on incentive.
But here's what we gotta decide. Can't go back. Cannot go back. We cannot stop picking up their garbage and them not pay, and their garbage start piling up, whatever. We've got to continue not to pick up the garbage. No matter if they start, the garbage starts showing up on the sides of the roads, we've got to make a commitment here. I'm not saying it's a bad idea, but don't stop picking it up, them not pay, then go back and start picking it up. That trains them that you don't have to pay. So we need to make sure we've got that commitment amongst us. And I'm not saying it's a bad idea, Philip, at all.
Didn't Craig say if you did that, there, you couldn't sue? Did he not mention that?
Yeah.
If you quit picking it up, you're not gonna be able to sue those people.
The future or existing?
Future,
Yeah.
I would say
existing,
Yeah.
from this moment down back, yes, you could say.
It's a service been provided that they have made for them.
I don't know what the interpretation is, but I spoke to some folks at Addison one time, and there was a little, could have could have interpreted that either way.
Right, yeah, I'm not an attorney, that's why I brought it up, so.
Right, right.
Or whether or not
Greg mentioned
you
before.
could actually
The
have litigation.
mandate.
Oh. Well, one individual in the county who contacted me months back that was concerned about some situations and decisions we had made in this committee and the rate change in January. And we had a very, very good conversation. We all know what I'm talking about if you'll think back, but anyway, he just wasn't gonna pay it. Wasn't gonna pay it. And I did tell him that he had the right to gather his up for however long he wanted to. And when it come to a financial benefit of him hauling to the transfer station, that, from what I understood, from what had been expressed in meetings, and I would testify, that he had the right not to pay the service through your office and pay directly towards that if he provided the service and did not use hours. Now, whether or not he done that or not, I don't know. But at that point, I was fairly informed, of what we had all went through, impossibilities and people not paying. And whatever my opinion was there, I haven't researched anything that would change it now. You have the right, if you're using that transfer station, I do not think you could go after a bill beyond the point we stopped collecting service. But I don't know why we would want to go after the bill.
I thought it was, you could use a transfer station unless there was a higher form of service available, which door-to-door was the higher form.
Well, you can choose to use, let's see, let me think how it was working.
That's what I thought the law said.
This all come about in one of our TDEC meetings.
Well, yeah, and you remember meeting with Waste Connections, they said, oh, no, we're planning to not set up to receive that 30%.
Yes.
People.
Yes, they were having a fit about that.
Yeah.
And I sit there and read through the contract, the way the contract's wrote. I don't think they'll let it stand on the court. You're gonna take it.
Right.
You have to. But like I say, if we're not picking up, now, we're still paying. Waste Connections is not gonna cut it down on the number of house pickups. But we're definitely saving on tonnage. Yeah. What kind of an accountant, logistical, note-taking nightmare will this be for your office?
Oh, it's gonna be some work, but everything's working this office.
If we decide, okay, once you're, a quarter behind service stops,
How long you'll stop for?
forever. They're done till they pay. I mean, this isn't the motion, I'm just saying, hypothetically. All right, at that point, you've got a red flag in the system. You have to get that information to Waste Connections, it's going to get that information to the route driver. At the point they do come in and decide, hey, this ain't working out, I need to pay. How fast can you turn it back on?
We just email them, call, text. That's what we normally do.
Okay. So it's pretty, that's,
That's pretty easy, yeah. Don't pick this up, house up for a couple of weeks because they're not signed up. Don't pick it up till you hear from them. That's what I normally say, don't pick it up till you hear from them, so.
Our county attorney needs to be in on this conversation.
It needs to be.
I'd say so.
We're gonna have to be strategic, do something. I mean, we're doing the same thing we did back in 2018 and beyond. Pots dry, shelves are empty.
to make it official, you don't want to make a motion, get on the floor, table it for legal counsel, for the next meeting. Does that
line from mobility.
Motion, made. Somebody will second it.
What is the motion?
The motion is to stop all pickup until service is paid for. Any delinquency, 30 days, quarter out, if they're a quarter behind, it's going on.
This can be certain.
Discontinue service till the bill is paid. Sidebar, I think in that situation, and the word is correct, they would have to pay entire length of time for service. So that would be a question, Craig.
Right.
Right, we did that set up payment option, he said they'd come in,
Like two.
yeah, one or two, and that's it, now and again.
All right, now, we'll turn around, kind of move table the motion till we have legal counsel.
I'll pass that motion first.
All in favor of Brad's motion to stop pickup until bill is paid in full, say aye.
Tabling for legal counsel. Is that a second?
We haven't got your first motion passed.
No, we're in debate first.
Oh, okay, we're debating.
Now I'm turning around and table. You need a second.
Second.
Now we got to pass this
And
one.
a second and third. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
So the whole commission will meet Craig.
Yes. And Steve, that has to happen the next meeting.
Next week, the 9th.
Yes.
That'll work. That time of year, we can just meet every week. We ain't got nothing else going on.
Steve, squeeze the numbers as far as that percentage out of the 30%. I know it's been 72, 74, and, it's been around that 70. Is there any way to derive how much out of that 30% is in litigation?
Oh, a lot of it is. I don't know percentage, but yeah, a lot of it is.
Yeah, that's kind of my next question, but I see we got $165,000 collected this year through lawsuits.
Yeah, to this point.
Where is that number in this number? Is it
It's included in that,
included in the
Yeah.
166?
in the, no, it's included in
Seven.
everything. Yeah.
So we get
It's included in
80%?
All the collections, that includes lawsuits, everything.
Or so we get 80% of the lawsuit collections
Correct.
So we
That
get
are paid,
that are paid, correct?
yeah.
We get 80% of the 165.
Yes.
I think that's an important number.
130 something, I think's what it is.
132.
Yeah.
It can move the pendulum there, one way or the other, depending on what your potential is.
Yeah.
I think that's important.
Now, the biggest thing that first thing, that we're dealing with now is we need to make a recommendation for the rate for next Monday night. Now, what we just tabled could affect that. But there's no reason this going any farther until Craig has a chance to advise us.
But it's not a fiscal year thing. You can implement that at any time. All right?
Yeah, well, yes, but we've got to set a rate though.
Yeah, I understand that, but I mean, as far as, you may know whether or not.
No, their rate increase in
Table
January.
motion. Sir?
Their rate will increase in January.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, I was talking about their fiscal year, calendar year.
If you go back to, what is their rate? What's our
Current,
no, our consumer price index rate?
3%.
You look at the CPI,
yeah, that's just that.
What is that?
It's
They're not the same, yeah.
Yeah, it'd be the same.
3.something%.
303.
Yeah. Yeah.
that not be like $6.50 a quarter? Somebody do that again, do that, do three,
You got no faith when you flip on there.
well, I made sure I done the numbers right.
Well, no,
Just take take 69
One 303.
times 1.0303. Convert it to percent. All right, that would be a rate of $71 a quarter. We can do the 71, stay with what our intention was in our last meeting, or last year, or January.
Collecting that 250 and the link
Yeah.
covering that.
We're still not covering that 250.
Right.
All right, let's do this. All right, hold on. What's our magic number there? Get back over it. Let's set with 7109. And I do quarter numbers. All right, we got 250 that's not coming out, correct?
Correct.
250,000. All right, we're gonna divide that number. How many customers you got, Steve? 7111? All right, what I'm doing with this figured out, we gotta take the 250 we had
Right.
in last year's budget, and let's put it back to a per customer basis.
Okay.
71,
It's 35.15.
Of what they're billing.
all right, divide that by 4 quarters. All right, that's gonna be 879. I'm coming up $79.88. That would cover the 250,000 that's not coming, plus the CPI, if you got it that way. Y'all see, does that make sense where I'm coming up with these numbers?
Yeah.
I'm taking the CPI to come up from 7109, then I'm taking the 250,000 divided by all customers.
So we lost their buffer, but it's gone.
Yes, we've lost our buffer, it's gone, adding that to it, which, I do not have a problem with rounding 79.
That's what it'd be a month. Go from 2662.
2662.
Yeah. 7988 divided by 3. So that's a month.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, $79.88 is $80 to me.
Right.
Now, I don't like it.
That's a month.
All right, you go back to Steve's numbers right here. Missing $4 a quarter per customer on the 70%. Gaining on 100. How much? $6.75. $2,000.
No, that's it.
You can't take your truck, drive to the convenience center, the gate be locked 3 times on 3 different trips.
Right. Right. That's it.
But the only problem is, last month it was.
Oh, yeah. Oh, but that's the story of everything, every single product we have, or service we have.
So if the budget committee got another $250,000 laying around, we can get it. I know the answer, go ahead and say it.
Sure.
How much choice you got?
Well, yeah, I know. I mean, that's it. It's, what else you gonna cut out?
All right, do y'all wanna do the CPI only, or y'all wanna do the CPI plus 250? CPI only is 7109. I'd round it down to 71 a quarter. Or you wanna put the 250 with the CPI, round it up to 80 bucks a quarter? That's the main question. Mr. Chairman?
You go from $591 a week, just a CPI to
667.
$667 a week. With that
Good.
red, TVA green.
Well, now, we're still calling TVA, this was 250.
Then we took
General
out.
fund, yeah. That's general fund from collection. That's what that one. All right, I will make a motion that we make the rate $80 a month. Quarter. Thank you, sir. Somebody will second it, and we can argue about what dollar amount we want.
There's a second.
It's like pepper in my mouth, but yeah.
I'm not on the committee, but I would like to make a suggestion. I wouldn't make that move until I have a strategic plan.
Yeah, it's,
It may not be very strategic, but I'd have something.
that's the only reason I second the motion, but this is not the done thing, right? This is just something we need to.
Right, I understand that,
Yeah.
but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
All right, we have a motion and a second on the floor. Any more discussion? What was
Y'all can kill it, you can amend the amount.
So that will,
I would be good to do the CPI, since that's what we talked about in the previous years. Right. Go with the CPI.
So if we just did the CPI, we got $250,000 deficit. What's the next step?
Yeah.
Fund balance.
What fund balance?
Let's see.
It'd come out of the county's fund balance? or-
It'd come out of Steve's fund balance first, and then he can see what it come out of that fund.
Honestly, Steve, right? The comptroller said they wouldn't do that this time.
Yeah. You won't be able to do that again, according to the comptroller.
Unless you were at zero.
Property tax increase.
That's what they said in the letter.
You moved to amend back to $71. All right, you need a second to amend. You moved to amend.
all in favor of amending to 71 per quarter? Any opposed? Motion carried. So,
No, you just amended it. Now you got to vote on the motion as amended.
now what?
You voted to amend.
Right,
So
okay.
now you're back to the motion as amended. We are now voting on raising,
71 on that. Good, I mean,
or set, well, we could get 71,
yeah.
This is flat $71.
but $71 per quarter. For the 25 calendar year.
All in favor of the motion have the rate at $71 per quarter, starting in January. Any opposed? Motion carried. All right, we'll work with that. I really don't think that's stopping. We're not gonna see a difference on that ticket. Maybe we'll see a little difference on perception.
It would be wonderful if we could cut 30%.
Oh, you ain't gonna do that. Hey, 10%, 20, 15%,
Help.
you know? I wish we had permits, that's all we would throw away.
Here's the address of the transfer station and
Yeah, it's paid for now.
send to them, which I don't,
Tip
I can't send letters anymore, but, I don't want to do it. I don't know.
If it was the main and you sitting there, say, you gotta carry it across the county, that's $1 minimum.
That's all we do.
I'd like, you know, I'd be reaching and grabbing for my flip phone to call and say, hey, how can I get settled up?
You take a few makers.
We'll do it. We'll do it.
Good idea.
All right.
You got all that motion stuff?
Yeah, I did. I'll get it. Yeah.
Start at $15.
Is that all about the rate increase that we need to talk about tonight without legal counsel?
It is.
Is that all you need from us about the rate increase?
Yes, sir.
Before we talk to Greg and see what we can do?
I do have one question, Ken. We all
Yes, sir.
other business. So with this rate increase, we still gonna be 250 in the hole.
Yep. Yes, sir.
And Steve's payout for January is going up. So we're gonna go further than 250 in the hole because his rates are going up with that we don't have. So
It won't go further.
we'll stay at 250.
Well, we supplemented it last year with 250 out of the fund balance.
Okay.
And so this rate raises it with the CPI, what we're going up. So essentially, we shouldn't go up.
Gotcha.
We're just not figuring in that extra 250 that we took from fund balance to pay for the 30% that aren't
You
paid.
should stay there.
They should stay there. Yeah. Is that it on that subject for the moment? All right, sir.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I was hoping to project it, but the spreadsheet you guys see, this is just an investor type spreadsheet. And we had talked about transparent funding. So there's a lot of stuff here that we can adjust, right? This is kind of showing you the financial model. So let's just kind of walk through it. You know, ash recycling, that's to turn ash into bricks. You don't necessarily need that. Nuke that. Engineering, you guys have a transfer station already in the air permit, so we could probably drop that to 700. Land, you guys already have land. And Steve has this in Excel, so that's what the design to play with it in Excel, and just, you know, these are kind of worst case. You guys already have loaders, and so you can nuke that.
No, we don't.
Oh, no.
No loaders.
All right, we will take that back. Sorting equipment, we can always go and buy used sorting equipment that's up for auction all the time. So, I mean, you can cut that in half, no problem. So, you know, and then we go down, and this is where you can kind of play with it as far as, you know, we could probably payroll clerk, leave that. plant manager, combine that. And then we can play with, depending on what metal is paying, you know, metal's been up to 200, it's been down to 130, I put it conservative 130. So you just plug it in here and that's what's gonna give us our payback. The benefit, really kind of looking at a paper, isn't that beneficial? I'd probably urge Steve to send you guys a spreadsheet, you guys can kind of play around with it. But the whole point is, this would have been a worst case scenario, and we're given open pricing, so we can just kind of plug the numbers in, and it'll show you what it's gonna run and the revenue it's gonna produce. That's kind of what this sheet does. I wish I could have projected it, so we could have, but.
Okay. Let's just, when you just played those numbers, in phase one cost, what are we looking at? What's it getting down to?
So phase one cost, let's see, I've got it down to, got it down to 10 million, and then what it does, the gross profit would be a 3 million a year, about a 3-year payback.
Now, in this scenario, I was hoping James Daniels might be with us tonight, but he's not. What are you looking at from us? What are you looking at from, on an initial cost? Could we do, you know, some type of partnership with SMC, maybe another county on their solid waste, to generate, you know, where McNairy County's not stuck with whole buildings. Would you be a partner in this with us also in ownership of the operation?
Could be, depends. This is how we lay it out. So, and, you know, I've got another party that could be probably interested in partnering. I mean, it's just going to depend on revenue share, and that's what the sheet was for investors. I've got an investor that I'm meeting with about a month from now, who may even look at just doing everything and leasing the machines. But yeah, no, I'm open in the air. I was in another county, we're talking about creating a co-op. They wanted to create a co-op between a bunch of cities to do that, to run this. I'm wide open. So, I mean, we can kind of piece together a deal however we need to piece it together.
Phase two of cost, that's pretty much set, is it not?
Yeah, and phase two, I wouldn't recommend phase two in Tennessee.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a steam generator.
Yeah, that's a steam generator, electric, it doesn't make sense. Just because the TVA doesn't pay a lot, so. I mean, in like Philadelphia, yeah, makes sense. But Tennessee, so that's kind of why I graded out.
Get all the solar farms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, now, with our, and I'm just, you know, we took 30 million off of this.
Yeah.
We're looking at $10 million late cost.
And
You're saying it's gonna bring, if we calmed it down that much, we could be in a payback situation of, what did you say,
3 years. So, and that's derivative of, you know, metal prices go up, payback goes down. You know, we set our tonnage for other counties that are coming in that rate. So, I mean, it's completely manipulatable.
Would you want, and I'm just gonna use a number, 3 entities. on our side, McNairy County plus 2. Would you want all of this road up funding in a direction of, 25% now, 25%, so far in the setup? I mean, how would you want the funding with
We'd space out the funding,
this? Okay.
so we'd space out the funding.
How much time, and don't be conservative, be liberal on how long you think it's gonna take. From the side, okay, we have funding secured, you start. How long would it take?
Worst case, 18 months, but more likely about a year.
Okay.
And those delays are gonna be, a lot of that time is gonna be TDEC. Because when you've gotta do a public announcement, wait 30 days, have comment, wait 60 days, so that kinda bites into the timing.
All right, here's our scenario on our land ownership of what we call the transfer station. We own the property, the building, the structure that's out there, for a period of time, and it's probably running out now. Steve, you have any idea when we own the shop?
No.
Wasn't it like a 20-year, they built it 10, 8 or something like that?
We may have done a 10-year because that was for that would have been for 2 contracts. We may have done a 10-year and then it was,
What I'm getting at is they're gonna operate that thing to moment close. Now,
well, we've still got to have somebody haul this.
yes,
We're gonna avoid tipping bids.
Right.
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 And really whatever,
Right.
reduce it, but the pickup's still gonna exist.
Somebody
Yeah.
from
the
some.
investment cost in the beginning is gonna have to be spread out over a monthly. Our investment in this will be spread out over our monthly rate, quarterly rate, until there's a return on investment, which will start chipping back against and lowering the garbage bill from that point forward, till it kind of neutralizes, you know. I don't think we're ever gonna make enough money to pay for calling to. Not unless somebody starts throwing away a lot of gold on itself. You know.
Unless we take the hauling off of the county business and if they want it privately.
Yeah.
Now,
Still on the contract for one more year.
it's like, it's what Henderson County.
Yes, sub it out, privately owned.
Yep. They deal with it, they deal with the bill collecting and that. Now,
I got a question. The $600,000 for 3 acres of land, what's that allocation designed for? When you say 3 acres?
Just 3 acres. Flat 3 acres.
Okay.
Land's not hardly that valuable.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So,
Highway road frontage, state highway road frontage, what, Philip? 20,000 an acre?
You talking about these few? I'm not in the conversation.
so like I said, this sheet is just it's a generic sheet to show investors. So all those numbers
Sure.
will change via location like that.
and that's considered, 3-phase power and water supply, plenty of, yeah.
So the $3 million in 3-year payback, is that based on your operating costs?
Correct.
Right, based on these figures that are here?
Yeah.
All your labor, all your other overhead?
Yeah.
Power, whites, water, utility, everything's there?
Correct. So we can,
So the life expectancy of that rotary combustor is 4.5 maybe. So I see you got 150,000 budgeted for maintenance, but over time, it's going to depreciate.
you're gonna have over 20 years on it. And the maintenance, basically what the maintenance is there's, once a year you take it down, and there's little fins, and you go in and you replace the little fins. But I mean, it's,
Basically.
10-year, replace the whole unit type.
well, you're just gonna replace the fins. The shell It's a high alloy steel, you're never gonna, it's
So
got a lot of,
it's already figured in.
yeah, it's got Inconel and everything, it's like the shell, you're gonna,
Yeah, I'm familiar with it.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
pretty
you're
robust
gonna-
stuff.
yeah, so that's, you're gonna be fine there, but, and then the
Milk
other,
So what's the holdup?
I ain't saying get off
EPA, TDEC, I mean, if you can borrow $12 million and pay it back in 3 years, and knowing that you've got a 20-year, you know, you've got some others, whatever, I mean, you ought to be, you know, nice return.
yeah,
So what's the deal?
funding, banks,
Too risky?
it's new technology.
I mean, is EPA got regulations that's gonna choke it to death?
It meets EPA regulations, I've been all the way up to the state on that.
Well, I think that's a good question. I mean, why aren't these everywhere?
The issue is, so, I spent 5 years bringing this technology up, and I had to go all the way up to the governor's office for it. Because your local TDEC and EPA people, they're checking boxes. When you bring them something new,
Agreed.
they're not
Yep.
really into, you know, you gotta get to the decision makers. And that's taken a lot of time and a lot of money. So that's where I've been at for the last 5 years. You know, it's probably about 2 years ago, I got it up to the governor's office.
So I understand, right there, one of these units in Huntsville.
Yes, there's Huntsville, it's actually owned by Waste Management now, but it's got bought out. And it was Stericycle, it's got bought out for about $10 billion. So, but no, I mean, and then the other, you know, the good news is where we're going is, you know, with the incoming administration, they're gonna loosen those EPA. So it's gonna be a lot easier. So I've got a gentleman who has units very similar to this that I know that's in Italy. And I'm meeting with him next month. And he's already gotten one of President Trump's people to go look at it. So we could get sweeping nationwide EPA approval is what it's looking like. But that's,
Any adverse effects of living within 2 miles, 3 miles, 100 yards?
so because of the way how it burns and everything, you're actually going to get less emissions than a landfill. So, because a landfill produces emissions, it produces methane, it produces. So, that's where the tonnage, that's why I can't really burn a ton of tonnage, because I'm trying to keep it into that sweet spot. You know, around 1800 to 2000 degrees, and that's before the formation of NOx gases, before the nasty gases. And then even with that, I don't need a bag house, but I'm putting a bag house on it anyways. So just,
Collect that.
yeah, just for emissions, just in case. So, I mean, it's kind of like, it's with a system like this, it's kind of like a car, right? You can put as many catalytic converters as you want until you can breathe out the tailpipe, if you want. But we've already meet standards from test runs that we've had from our data.
If we had the word go, what legal protections, contracts would you be looking for to protect you from us and us from you?
I think we would work with your city attorney and figure that out. Yeah.
But you would not have a problem with us partnering with maybe another county and local industry?
I don't know that we can do it.
Well, that's, yeah, Steve and I have talked about that.
Possibly could, because that's part of our recycling. Possibly could on that route, you know, because we use his numbers as our, for our state.
Steve and I talked about this the other day. I mean, neither one of us had any knowledge of private sector and local government
partnering in a entity business.
Is there a website, YouTube video?
Yeah, there is.
I've looked at some stuff on YouTube, and you have examples that we can look at.
Yeah, it'd be, I'll email to Steve our website, and I've got other videos and everything as well. But as far as how we wanna, the whole thing is, every city, every county is different. So I've been fully prepared that it's gonna be kind of a custom deal, depending on where it goes, just because that's been a lot of the problem as well of getting this, is that trash is decentralized. You know, other countries where this is 90% of what they're doing, they're nationalized, so it makes it easier. But, and I'll be honest, some of the funding issues I had is that this is a direct competition with Republic and Waste Management. It's eliminating landfills. So,
That's the truth.
Well, you were privileged to one of our monthly, almost 7 years now, isn't that right, Phil? We've been 7 years.
Yeah, that's right.
Monthly, we meet about our property, for solid waste in our county. We, in our 2 term of office, it went through, Steve, I think you're number 5, waste director, 4 in 2 terms, okay, 4. We had a cash cow in this county that pretty much made delinquency of accounts, negatives, kind of wash. It's called landfill. And we made a lot of money off of our neighbor county east of us with our landfill. Until our landfill started filling up, TDEC got harder on us. And we had an office that decided I didn't want to deal with landfills anymore, mayor. We say closed, but technically still not closed. We lock the gate.
yeah,
But our landfill's not operational.
haven't capped it.
Yeah, well, we have, but it's still, we're still playing regulations. For us to do away with these problems in the first place, we have got to figure out a way to, number one, get rid of our garbage. Tipping fees are astronomical for us. And number 2 is we can have some kind of partnership to cover the cost of sharing the reward. And that's turning this money back towards our citizens to lower their monthly cost, to get rid of their household waste. As we had 20 years ago with landfill.
Yeah.
That's what we're looking at.
And so the Clinton administration, they allowed Republic Waste Management, Waste Connections to buy landfills. And that's when you see landfills started rapidly closing and costs started skyrocketing because it's fox guard in a hen house, right?
Well, not
Yeah. So you'll see there's very, very few landfills in the state that are not managed by one of the big 3. And what are they doing? They're filling them up as fast as they can so they can close them so then they can put the screws to you.
Well, what do we think our next step in talking about this venture is to be?
Where I'm at now, I'm not sure.
Is there a way you can get us in to go look at the one in Huntsville? As a group, maybe?
The one in Huntsville, and I think Steve has tried, it's gonna be very difficult to get into because they do military work and because they do medical. So it's very difficult. Now, I don't know if it's just sold, and, well, it's sold to Waste Management. So I don't know if that makes it easier or harder, but.
Well, they are a competitor to our service that we have now.
I got a question.
They do have, they've got a material recovery rotary kiln that's very, very similar to this technology at Griddow in Jackson. So
Is that a possibility for?
that's probably a possibility to look at. I've been in there.
Yeah, we could.
Can you-
I know somebody who ran a couple of guys work up there.
They told me anytime. But it's still has fluff, they still have to have a landfill for theirs.
Yeah, what they're doing is they're burning the fluff off to get the metal that's trapped in the fluff.
That's not what he told me.
There's some residual left out there, too.
I think there is some residual, but yeah, they're using it to kind of heat. It's a lower temperature. They're using it to get the
What
metal they're
temperature
missing. Yeah.
Start melting metal.
Yeah. So I was close to selling them a unit maybe 4 years ago, and then it was right before they had their vice president quit and left, went to Brazil or something like that. I was dealing with Will Omby, who's the safety director there. But they have similar technology at Griddow.
But he told me that the metal that they got out of there, they couldn't use in their steel mill. Because it would react with the melting pot.
So they were utilizing it in the recycling situations in another direction?
Talk like there was some flippers in there, and they basically flipped the copper and stuff out. Wouldn't really use any heat mill, because what's the best for copper here? Fairly low.
Be higher than aluminum, but lower than.
Not melting on yet.
They were actually mining an old landfill, but they were still having to put their fluff
Back in it. Yeah.
So I got a question on the revenue side, because it looks, to me, my perception would be, is I'm half full, I'm very interested, and I love the return, but when I see I'm talking about sources of revenue. When I talk about recyclable metals, and it's giving you $1 per ton, right now you've got that at 130.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know if that's an average, whatever, but it looks like that and then tipping per ton. Okay, so you gotta be able to get both of those to survive. And
Correct.
everything else is gonna be a plus or a bonus, correct?
Correct.
If recycling or the recyclable metals per ton goes, I don't know, 30% down, you know, I mean, do you
So-
anticipate, what market shares, talk to me about that.
So the metal, it's gonna fluctuate every month as far as what you're getting. That's an average. It'll go up, and it depends on the time of year too. So it'll go up as high as 200. Sometimes it goes down.
So what is
But-
it, 130 a ton right now?
I couldn't tell you what metal is right now. I could tell you when I built the spreadsheet.
That
It was
average?
an average. Yeah, it was a yearly average.
And what is the 66 per ton? Because
66. That's your gate rate, and we can adjust that. That's
That's your
so.
revenue, that's your driver there.
Correct.
That's a hit, I mean, it's
That's your gate rate.
851,000, 8.6, I mean, 3.6. I'm just asking, I'm just trying to
Oh
dig in here a
yeah.
little bit.
So you're paying, your revenue is going to be the same as like a landfill, right?
Right.
You're going across a scale, and then you're getting either a gate rate, tipping fee, whatever you want to call it. And you can set that, and I put that, and that's an average as well. You can set that so you got someone coming in private, you can charge yourself a lower gate rate and charge someone else a higher gate rate and average that out.
Commercial, we charge more. I
Yeah.
think that's what a lot of people do.
Yeah.
Commercial rate.
So,
In January, we're at 64 and change. First connection. 66, 5 years out of road, probably not
That's
bad.
one of the cheapest ones around, most places 75 to 100
yeah.
a ton.
And I lowered that rate for here, because I had it in my original seat, I had it at 90. So, and when I did it for Jackson, I had it at 110. we were discussing it. So, I mean, the purpose of the sheet is basically, it's better in Excel, because then you
Okay.
can,
Yeah, I just, you know, I was looking at the revenue driver, because I
Yeah.
mean, you've got to get that. I mean,
Yeah.
there's no question about
Oh, yeah.
logistics and everything else.
Yeah.
And you can't, you gotta go outside this county, we gotta have, I mean, this is
Yeah.
this is a big, major project.
Yeah.
And you're gonna have surrounding counties, I don't know, you know, I don't know what's gonna happen right there, I wonder about it.
yeah, and you'll pick up, you'd be surprised, I mean, it's similar, if you guys had to, but it's similar, you're gonna pick up stuff that you didn't even know you're gonna pick up, because all the commercial rate, any of your other haulers that are coming through, if this is closer than going out of state, they're gonna come here, right?
Price to numbers is a better option, that's okay.
Yeah. So you're gonna create an opening in the market. But yeah, no, I mean, that's, the whole model is you're paying to get through the door.
I understand
Yeah.
that, but if your competitor, which is county and a half over,
Uh-huh.
southwest of here, finds out that you guys have got the cat by the tail, don't you expect them to go, I mean, they're gonna reduce, they're gonna become more competitive, don't you think?
They got Soto and all of those over there. I don't think.
You don't think?
I really think we're a small fish.
I don't think,
Yeah.
I guarantee you stick your finger in that water, and they're gonna know.
Yeah.
I can
About you
guarantee
like a piranha.
I'll put it this way. When I met with the Vice President of Republic, he was not interested in investing in this technology at this point, but he said at $110, he would send me tonnage all day, every day, because he was gonna market it as landfill free and charge his customers close to $700 a ton for it.
So he's got no capital, and just make money on their capital.
Yeah, because you can charge a premium. Breyer's Ice Cream, to be landfill free, pays $400 a ton.
It'll be
So,
landfill free.
yeah,
Well, he's not lying there. Hey, those are industry measure that have that feather.
and when you look at Holland, I mean, that's, these companies, commercials where that, if you look at a 30-yard dumpster, when you own a business in a 30-yard dumpster, you're paying, it's a deal to pay $350. You're paying more like $600 to empty a 30-yard
Well, that's-
dumpster, and a 30-yard dumpster is 2 tons.
The,
Yeah.
they can't pack it like we can't get it bread.
No, no.
But the thing could possibly increase our numbers that we don't see on tipping, because I know that truck that gets our dumpster in Fairfield. He leaves Walnut, he comes through, I don't know how other many he gets, but he makes his way to Lexington, dumps, comes back through another route, whether it's back by Brad's, Adamsville, whether he goes to Henderson or what. But, so those guys, as they're making their route around, when they get the truck full, they dump at the close, and now they're using the transfer station. But I was told, not by Waste Connections, but I was told by another guy that, he said, if you guys went that route or opened your landfill back up, said, yeah, they, you know, he said, I don't see why they wouldn't want to just haul it.
Sure.
And they don't have to deal, and they don't have to deal with it.
Yeah, the Holland side loves it because if it's closer for them,
Sure.
more turns,
Sure.
Yeah.
more profit.
Right, and less employees that they got to have running another 50 miles down the road.
I don't think they-
So what's the next step?
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
We're, this, what you're projecting here is 150 tons a day, 6 days a week, correct?
And we can do, the system's designed for 200 tons. I just put 150 in there to be conservative.
How many tons a month are we producing state tipping fees?
Right now it's about 450 something.
450, so you can do a whole
455
county in 3 days.
So, but that's residential, not commercial, correct?
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, let's go and put our commercial, we don't have a lot in that county. We're gonna work 1 week for us, and then we'll work 3 weeks for somebody else.
yeah.
I got a good document.
Good, yeah.